I never consented to being born. I did not go like, oh yes, sperm, fertilize this egg and create me. Like, it just happened, and here I am. So why should I be forced to live this existence where I spend every day being tortured by my own brain? And like, you can't leave your brain. You can't be like, okay, I'm gonna take a break now and like not listen to you. It's not how that works. And like, so why should I have to live with that if I never asked for this?
Hey friends, Christina here. Just a heads up, as you might have gathered, on this episode we talk about assisted dying for severe mental illness. It's a sensitive topic, and so we wanted to make sure to prepare listeners going in. This is our guest's personal story, and we wanted to provide a safe place to tell it. At the end of the day, we support autonomy, and whatever someone decides to do with their life, the ultimate goal is that they can talk about it with the people who love them. And so that's what this episode is for, is just to talk about a very difficult subject. If you are sensitive to discussions of suicide, dying, this episode might be a little extra sensitive for you. Okay, I've rambled enough already. Here's the episode. We hope y'all will enjoy. ? Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Wow, you just jumped on in there.
Yeah,
you were
love
ready. Lauren, you had the tagline today.
Oh,
But of course, now you have a dog running around. I think I can remember what it was.
okay.
Welcome to Pickles and Vodka, the mental health podcast where on the cheese plate of life, we're Gouda.
Yes, we are.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Lauren.
And we have a guest.
It's not Taco, even though he's whining.
Taco, we know who you are. It's not about you today.
Right.
Anyway, I know you said you wanted to be anonymous in this episode, but what are your pronouns?
Pronouns, she, they.
Cool. I usually forget that part. We're becoming more professional by the day.
By the day. Oh.
I'm honestly like, any pronouns for me. Like, I don't care.
Well, welcome to the show. This is like literally the first time any of us have talked.
Mm-hmm. But we've known each other.
Yeah. So, we met you on a social media app, like a private community.
Yeah.
Centered around eating disorders. It's where I met Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I don't even know how many years it's been now, but since I've known you, you have been talking about what we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just like had so many ups and downs, and like the fact that it's all like culminating is kind of exciting, but also like it must be crazy overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a weird, the vibes are weird, as I keep saying to people in my life. The vibes are weird.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's going to be the name of this episode.
I know.
So with that said, I know we've been really vague so far, but if you just want to kind of talk about what the topic is today, and then maybe like a brief, well, I'm sure part of your outline was talking about your history.
Yeah.
You had an amazing outline, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I've been thinking and like planning this in my head for a couple weeks now, what I was going to say.
We were so impressed.
Yeah, we're really impressed. Like, a guest comes with an outline, and
It's how to get brownie points with us.
It's my type A, anxious, planning everything personality, so.
One of us.
So I am here to talk about assisted dying, specifically for mental illness. So I'm Canadian, and in Canada, in 2016, assisted dying, or medical assistance in dying, became legal for the terminally ill back in 2016. And then there was court challenges saying that it was discriminatory and unconstitutional for them to require a person to be terminally ill to access assisted dying. And so that got accepted and they expanded to include chronic illnesses as well that have no treatment, no cure, or the treatments just have too many side effects or whatever, and that people live with pain and suffering. And so people can get assisted dying for a variety of conditions. And then it was also supposed to include mental illness. And the government needed more time to create safeguards to ensure that this was being done safely for people with mental illnesses, because as we know, suicidality is a symptom of many mental illnesses.
Mm-hmm. Never heard of her.
Yeah. So it was needed to make sure that it wasn't like people who were in like acute crisis or just like in a bad depressive episode, and that it really was incurable chronic mental illness. And so this expansion to include, they call it sole underlying condition mental illness or something like that. So that was supposed to happen on March 17th, 2023. And I was waiting for that day. I was so excited for that day. And then in February 2023, they said, you know what, we need one more year. We promise in 1 year, so March 2024, we're going to expand. That's when it's going to happen. So I waited my extra year, all excited, and then they said, no, actually, we need 3 years. It's not going to be until 2027. And now there's even talks that it might not even ever happen. So that's kind of that story of the delays and all of that.
Well, and again, we were like friends with you on this social media while this was all happening, and like we got to see the ups and the downs and the hope and the despair and like the anger.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of anger.
Yeah.
I wrote so many angry letters to all the people in the government that I could write to. Like, it was just, yeah.
We've connected more recently than you and Christina, but didn't even like your mom get involved?
Yeah, well, my mom is involved.
I know she's supportive, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she ever wrote to anyone herself, but we've talked about it, and she's been accepting of it for like almost 3 years now. We've been talking about it. But yeah, so I guess I should talk a little bit more about myself and why I was wanting to get assisted dying.
Please.
So I have treatment-resistant major depressive disorder. I also have persistent depressive disorder. So I got that good old double depression going on. I also have chronic anorexia nervosa. It's like in remission right now. It's not super bad. It's been a lot worse. So I've been essentially depressed my entire life. Like, I've always, even as a child, I had symptoms of depression. When I learned about suicide at about the age of 12, I knew that's how I'm going to die. I am going to kill myself one day. And I've been thinking, planning my death ever since, like, I was a preteen. I'm almost 30 now, so more than half my life. My suicidality can vote. Woo. I've tried basically every single treatment option that there is. Like, every type of antidepressant. I've had antipsychotics as like additional medications, because apparently that can help sometimes. I did a treatment called rapid transcranial magnetic stimulation, where they send like powerful magnetic waves into your brain.
I've looked into that in the past, so yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It didn't really help with that, with the depression. I also tried electroconvulsive shock therapy. That was not fun. And then I've been doing IV ketamine infusions as well. The first time it really helped. My first course was really helpful, but every other course of IV treatments I've had have been diminishing returns.
Yeah, the ketamine was like good for a while, right?
Yeah, like it was honestly life-changing for the year that it worked, but after that, it just, like, I had a course a year ago and no change. It did not help, unfortunately. So I've tried every treatment that is available. I did microdosing shrooms. I was buying shrooms online and doing my own microdoses. That made things worse. And so, like, I've had multiple psychiatrists tell me, like, we've tried everything. There is no hope for you. Like, you're probably always going to feel this way. So that's kind of the whole mental illness history and the brain worms that I have.
What about your family? Like, how does your family approach mental illness, and like what role did they play in all this / are playing?
So I always say, like, everyone in my family is crazy. At least, like, my immediate family. My dad, like, really bad depression. He's an alcoholic, has all his own issues. I'm no contact with him. My mom has pretty bad anxiety. It's gotten really bad now, and I feel really bad about that. But just so many people in my family, we've had our own mental health struggles, but we've been, at least, like, me, my mom, and, like, my sister. My sister's a psychologist, so we're pretty open about that kind of stuff, and we approach it, I think, in a pretty healthy way. Like, we're not repressing all that kind of stuff, especially because I've been in mental health treatment since I was 15, so we've been just open about it this whole time. And with that, when the expansion for MAID to include mental illness was, like, being talked about, and it was supposed to happen in 2023, I started talking to my mom about it, saying, like, hey, I want to apply for this. And at first she couldn't even, like, talk about it without crying, but as time went on, she got used to the idea and did realize that it is probably the best option for me, because otherwise I am just going to commit suicide and kill myself at some point.
Yeah, well, you've had attempts.
Yeah,
right?
So with that, last year, when they delayed the expansion for 3 years, I said, like, fuck it, I'm taking matters into my own hands. I gathered supplies. I had a bucket list trip that I wanted to do my whole life, so I did that. I wrote letters, I got all my affairs in order, and then I had a very serious suicide attempt last summer where I ended up in the hospital for a couple of weeks. It was not good, and obviously I survived it, as I am here for this podcast.
Which great timing, by the way.
So, like, I've tried, I don't know how many times in my life. I've always failed. It's really fucking hard to kill yourself. Like,
yeah.
It's, we don't have easy access to guns up here in Canada, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm part of this subreddit that I won't name on the podcast, but it's like suicidal people supporting each other. And yeah, people are always asking, even when it gets them banned, like, what is an easy way? Like, nothing works.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already been thinking as we've been talking, because I had a friend that was in a similar situation, and I mean, she did end up dying by suicide, but I just think of all the times she tried so hard.
Yeah. It's a horrible way to go. Like, the effects that I've had from my last attempt have been horrible. Like, I killed off a few too many brain cells. I'm not as smart as I used to be, and that's been very difficult to live with. It's painful and it's traumatic for the people who have to find you.
It's traumatic for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
I would think that too. Like, if you're forced to keep trying on your own, and then they keep saving you, in quotes, but you're like, and every time the effects have made my life even worse.
Yeah. And, like, then you meet with the doctors after. They're like, oh, well, like, we saved your life now, but there's nothing we can do to actually improve your quality of life. Like, okay, bye.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So
It's like sex and drugs we've been talking about on the last few episodes. Like, if you want to do it, you're gonna do it. Like, death is the same, honestly. Like,
exactly.
why would you want it? It should be as safe as possible, as non-traumatic as possible. Yeah, I think it's important that people know how much harm they're doing by denying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, like, I think psychiatry as a whole is kind of a broken field. I think it does more harm than it does good most of the time, especially for people with chronic mental illnesses.
Can I interject for 1 second?
Yeah.
Earlier you said that MAID is for people with incurable and chronic illnesses. I can see those words as being really easy for them to like twist around and like be able to define what that is. So like medically at the moment, like what do they mean by incurable and chronic? If you know the criteria.
I can read you the criteria.
Fuck yeah. You're the best guest ever.
So right now, like, they have a 2-track system. And so track 1 is if, like, you have, like, 3 months to live, you have terminal cancer, like, it goes quick. It only takes a couple weeks to get approved. And then track 2 is for, like, the chronic conditions. And so they call these grievous and irremediable medical conditions.
That's even more vague. Sorry.
To be considered as having a grievous and irremediable medical condition, you must meet all of the following criteria. You must have a serious illness, disease, or disability, be in an advanced state of decline that cannot be reversed, and experience unbearable physical or mental suffering from your illness, disease, disability, or state of decline that cannot be relieved under conditions that you consider acceptable. So that's very vague.
But also that's you.
Exactly.
Yeah, except how they're interpreting it now, it sounds like they're including, like, if you have mental suffering that is just not going to be lifted, but it still has to be caused by a physical condition.
Yeah. And then a few lines down, this is on the Canadian government website, if your only medical condition is a mental illness, you are not eligible for medical assistance in dying until March 2027.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Only.
Right.
And, like, there have been people with, like, really bad anorexia who have, like, organ failure from it. They are able... There's a few, like, 3 people who have gotten MAID for, like, very, very severe anorexia.
Yeah, those are the only ones I've ever heard of on podcasts and stuff.
But it's like you are in, like, organ failure and you're gonna die anyways, or they're gonna die anyways. But I tried to go that route last year, and the doctor, because the way it's done is each province has, like, a MAID team. So I contacted the team for my province, and the doctor was like, oh no, like, you can't, because of, like, mental illness. Anorexia is, like, considered a mental illness, even though you're having all these physical side effects from it. Like, it's mental. So I thought about going for, like, chronic pain, because I also have chronic pain. And then she was like, oh no, like, you have to be in recovery from your mental illness for us to accept the chronic pain thing. And I was like,
are
well,
you
fuck
kidding
you.
me?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, very frustrating. Is there more that we want to talk about here, or do we want to move on to the new developments?
No, go for it. It's all you.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Thank you, I'm so anxious. So, there are a bunch of other places in the world that also have assisted dying. I know there's a couple states in the US that actually have it, but I think that's all for, like, terminally ill people. But one of the countries, and actually one of the first countries to have it, was Switzerland. Most places you have to be a citizen of that place to access it, but not in Switzerland. Anyone can go to Switzerland to get assisted dying there. I've looked at it in the past. When they did the first delay, I looked into it, but it costs quite a bit of money, and at the time it was a very complicated process. I would have to go to Switzerland, meet with doctors there, come back to Canada, go back to Switzerland. Like, it was back and forth, and it was just, at the time, I didn't have much money in my savings account and stuff, so I couldn't afford it. It was just not viable. But then, after this other delay, I had my suicide attempt last year, and I was honestly, like, this summer I was planning. I had a whole plan set in place, and I thought, let's look into Switzerland one more time. And there's a bunch of new organizations that started operating, and it's a much easier process. It's like, you meet them on, like, Zoom calls, and, like, you just, like, fill out forms online, so I can do all of this from home. It is still very expensive, but I do have the money now, and I started the process. I spoke to my mom about it first, because, like, I live with my mom, we're very close, and the organizations in Switzerland do want support from your family. There's been organizations who have been sued by families when someone comes from internationally, and so they want, they have to cover their own asses legally and stuff. And so spoke to her, and she said, yeah, like, if that's what you want, if that's what you need, then, like, I'll support you. So I filled out the forms, I got a caseworker. You have to, like, fill out, like, a whole, like, autobiography thing. They have, like, a bunch of questions, like, childhood history and, like, friends and family and all of this stuff. I had to give pet history, like, how many dogs I've had. Yeah. And so with that, I got accepted, and yeah, I'm moving forward with it. I am hoping to go in a couple of months, and so I've been planning around all of that. I am so happy, and I am so relieved, but I know people around me aren't, and that's been very difficult.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, what the general responses have been.
So only very few people know right now. I was only, like, officially accepted, like, 2 weeks ago.
Also, what was that like? Did you cry? Did you scream?
I was just very, like, excited. Like, I started jumping up and down, and then my mom, who was right there, like, started having a panic attack, and I was like, okay, I should tone myself down. So right now, like, obviously my mom knows, and her sister knows, because her sister will also be coming with us, mostly to support my mom, because I know we know my mom's going to have a really hard time.
Yeah, she should have someone after, yeah.
And then my psychiatrist knows as well, and he definitely has mixed feelings about it. He knows how much I want this, and he doesn't like it, but he's not gonna stop me, he's not gonna do anything. And, like, he and I, for the past, I want to say, like, year and a half, have been doing more, like, palliative psychiatry versus, like, treatment-focused psychiatry. So that's just, like, a focus on, like, lessening, like, the impact of symptoms instead of, like, trying to recover from whatever fuckery is going on in my brain.
Right.
You've been thinking about death your whole life, obviously, but I can imagine a psychiatrist who's put you in the palliative therapy is like, okay, we need to, like, process through your feelings on death, Did you do anything like that as part of that therapy? Or do you feel like you've already thought it to death and you're ready to go?
I definitely think I've thought it a lot, thought it to death, as you said. But
oh my god, I did not even mean
I thought that, but I didn't say anything.
Oh my god, I swear I didn't mean to.
Honestly, the number of death jokes and puns that I'm making right now is, like, it's, like, too much, so I appreciate it.
No, now that we know it's okay, all bets are off.
The jokes I've made are, like, I have really dark humor, so.
Perfect.
With, like, my psychiatrist, we're talking, like, okay, he wants me to, like, write a bucket list of things to do. He wants me, like, I have kind of expensive hobbies. He's like, just spend your money on your fucking hobbies. Like,
Yeah.
buy like really fancy jigsaw puzzles, and I do a lot of like Lego. So he's like, just buy all the Legos. Like, you know, who cares? You can't bring your money with you.
Lego shit's expensive.
I know.
So yeah, spend money on it.
You haven't even talked about the cheese.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
For all the listeners, I am absolutely obsessed with cheese. I think about cheese all day, every day. I eat so much cheese. It's my passion.
I can like hear you smiling as you're talking about cheese.
So I often post on our little social media thing about all these intricate cheese boards I make.
You have officially got me more interested in cheese, I will say.
I've had multiple people tell me that, and I'm like, thank you. I am honored. It's a very big thing in Switzerland. So, like, in Switzerland, I'm like, okay, we gotta go get raclette here, and we gotta get fondue there, and, like, all of these things. So, yeah. Right now, it's just, like, the planning phases. We haven't told many other people, and that's what I'm trying to figure out how to do, and that's been very difficult.
Yeah, so you said you have a sister who has, like, her own mental health experience. Does she not know yet?
No, she doesn't. She knows that I was planning to apply for MAID here in Canada before it got delayed, and she's a psychologist, and she has really bad anxiety. But we think we figured out how I should tell her, but it's just like actually telling her that's going to be the hard part.
Yeah.
I also have a brother who, right now he's in a pretty bad depressive episode, so we're like, ooh, how do I tell him? So those are like the two important ones that I'm trying to figure out how to talk to. And then I also have to tell my dad, which I am dreading. He is not a very nice person, especially in regards to all of this. But also, I know that if I do it and I don't tell him beforehand, which was my original plan, he is going to, like, freak out on my mom. Like, he is going to be very nasty towards her. And I can't do that. I have to man up and tell him myself, and I can take his reaction, but that's going to be the difficult one.
You think he'll try to interfere in any way?
Yes. Yeah.
Because hasn't he done that in the past?
Yeah. So, for context for listeners, with my attempt last summer, I had written, we have here, they're called Advanced Healthcare Directives. It's a legally binding document that you can name like a healthcare proxy. So if you're incapacitated, someone else, you name a specific person to make decisions for you. And on that form, you can also say what you want or don't want as treatments. And so I wrote mine to essentially be a do not resuscitate order. Like no intubation, no ventilation, no CPR, no defibrillation, like none of that stuff. And so after my attempt, when I was in the ER, my mom gave this form to the doctors, and my dad, who I was no contact with at the time, he was saying he's actively involved in my life.
LOL.
Yeah. So he was a lawyer, and he was like, I'm going to sue the hospital, I'm going to sue you, and like all the doctors, all the nurses, every nurse that like came to give me, he was like, you better do the right thing or I'm going to sue you, I'm going to make your life so difficult. They had to like get the lawyers from the hospital involved, they had to get like ethicists involved, like it was a shit show. So I'm just worried that if he knows about this, he's going to try and stop it. There has been a case in another province of a young woman getting approved for MAID and her father bringing it to the courts, trying to stop it. Finally, they obviously sided with the young woman and not the father.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, but like that was like months of waiting. This poor woman just like wanting, she was ready to go. It was like the date was like a week away and they had to stop it.
Do people ever get like sectioned because of this? Like against their will?
I don't think so. I don't know. If so, I haven't heard of it because it is just like asking for this treatment. It's not like you're like, I'm going to go kill myself. It is seen more as a medical treatment than like actual suicide. And like I think in the US a lot of places call it like physician-assisted suicide, but that is not accepted terminology in most other places and not here in Canada. We always just call it like medical assistance in dying because that is what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because there is so much stigma associated with suicide that it's, yeah.
That's a perfect segue, actually, because I was gonna say, like, neither me nor Laura knows much about this, and the general attitude in our country is, yeah, either you don't know about it or you think it's wrong or, like, whatever. What are some common misconceptions / resistance that you get? And, like, what do you wish people knew?
So, a really big thing that I've seen is that this is like state-sanctioned euthanasia. This is where the doctors and the governments are coming in and saying, oh, you're disabled, you're chronically ill, we're going to kill you. I see a lot of people, especially online, like in comment sections, the most vile places of the internet.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Canada now wants to euthanize all their mentally ill people. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. You have to ask for it like multiple times. You have to have like a million different assessments. There's like waiting periods. Like doctors do not recommend it. You're not going to meet a doctor and they're like, oh, your chronic pain is really bad. Have you thought about getting MAID? Like that does not happen. But that's the big misconception that it is what's happening.
That's like saying if you make gender-affirming care legal, all the kids are going to turn trans.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like everyone pregnant is going to immediately get an abortion, like abortions left and right.
So that's the big one that I see. But most people are accepting of it for like obviously terminal illnesses, but even the like irremediable, however that word is pronounced, like those conditions a lot of people are accepting. But towards mental health, it's more 50-50. And I think a lot of that comes from people who either have never had mental illness or people who have had like a depressive episode. They have depression for 6 months, they take medication and they get better. So it's a lot. I think a lot of those people are like, oh, well, I recovered from my depression or I recovered from my anxiety. So everybody else should be able to recover from their mental illness and we shouldn't allow them to get assisted dying.
It's just ableism.
Exactly. And it's like, you don't know, like, I've literally tried everything. There is nothing left for me to try. I've had so many doctors tell me like, yeah, you're out of options. Like, sorry.
Well, it just sounds like there's a lack of trust. There's a lack of autonomy. I mean, really, that's it. Like, you can say, I've tried everything and I'm in so much pain, but whether they believe you or care is another question. Also, it's your fucking life.
Exactly. Yeah. And, like, a big thing that I'm, like, hung up on is, like, I never consented to being born. I did not go, like, oh, yes, sperm, fertilize this egg and create me. Like, it just happened, and here I am. So why should I be forced to live this existence where I spend every day being tortured by my own brain? And, like, you can't leave your brain. You can't be like, okay, I'm gonna take a break now and, like, not listen to you. It's not how that works. And, like, so why should I have to live with that if I never asked for this?
Yeah. I guess the next thing I was going to ask about is, like, what happens after? Like, if you have plans.
Yeah, so when you get assisted dying in Switzerland, the cremation is included in your hefty price that you pay. So that's the body disposal that I'll get. I would love a green burial, but that's not feasible with this, so cremation it is. And then today, me and my mom, we were talking, my mom's like, I had sent her an Instagram reel of someone who had made an urn out of Lego.
Oh my god.
We were like, that's what we should do. So we're going to go to, like, the Lego store and get, like, pick a brick, and I'm going to build my own urn out of Lego.
I mean, is it weird to say that sounds fun?
I know. I'm so excited.
Like, is this process allowed to be fun?
I know, like
that's...
it's dark but cool.
Well, that's why I think this is such an important topic, because like it allows you to have a fun and cool process, you know?
Exactly. And like I am having fun with it, and I know my mom again. Like, we're very close and we're very entrenched in this together. Some things of it I think she's wrapping her mind around and like can get positive feelings. I don't know what positives. There's a lot of negative feelings, like, obviously, but I think there are positive notes. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, so that's the plan for like my body, kind of. And then we're still trying to figure out for like funeral, memorial. I do know I want to have it live streamed for all my internet friends, like Chris and Lauren and everyone else on our little social media app. So there's that, and then there's going to be a fancy cheese board for the VIPs at my funeral, I've decided.
As there should be.
Yeah. So that's kind of that. I don't have the details for that too set in stone yet. That's still a future me problem.
Well, you still have more planned than most people do, and that's another thing we were talking about in the intermission, is how like we don't talk about death here, and no one has a plan. I mean, no one our age at least.
Yeah.
But you should.
We should. It's very important to discuss what you want done, because like the idea of like for me being embalmed and like put in a coffin sounds absolutely terrifying, and I would never want that for my body, but that's what some people really want. And so
yeah, I'm thinking I don't think my mom was even 60 years old when we had this conversation, and you know, she's well in her 70s now and still in great health. No reason to think she won't live a long time. So even her saying then, like, I don't know, we were just talking something about death, and she just said like, well, I want to be cremated. And I was just realized, I was like, you know what? I never would have known that. I'm so glad you told me.
Yeah, it is very important to have those discussions. And
I have on mind that I explicitly do not want any sort of religion. I don't want it to be in a church. Like, because I know if I go before my parents, you know, they're gonna,
yeah.
I don't know. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Even if you just have like a phone note, it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I do that.
Oh, I have so many. I have a whole Google Drive dedicated to planning my death, so no judgment from me.
Of course. I mean, was there anything else that you wanted to share? I mean, I'm always trying to wrap things up in a neat little positive bow here, but I don't want to do... Obviously, this is different. I mean, as a friend, you know, this is a very bittersweet episode.
Yeah.
I love it, and I'm also sad, but it's cool, you know?
Yeah.
Has it gotten easier to talk about with close people over time, like at least on the internet?
Yeah, I think so. Or at least with the people that I know would support me in it, and who do support me in it, it is easy to talk about. And, you know, if they're accepting, they understand. And especially the people who have seen me and how sick I am, they can see that, oh, with this, I am going to have a dignified death. I'm going to have a painless death. I'm going to be able to say goodbye to the people I love and the people I care about. And that's so important, because when someone commits suicide, they don't have that. You don't get to say goodbye to someone and like have a proper goodbye. You know, it is often painful. It is often a terrible way to die, and it does leave everyone around them traumatized. And at least with this, it is dignified. It is a good death. However good death can be, it's a much better death than suicide. But yeah.
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Thank you.
You're really good at this, and I'm so happy that you're here. Like, what an honor. Truly.
Thank you.
With that said, let's take a quiz.
I did see in the email what it was, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we have a palate cleanser. The title of this quiz is Everyone Loves a Good Charcuterie Board, right? Build your own and see what type of friend you are. You've been handed a wooden board, endless cheese options, and the fate of your social life.
Oh boy.
We can just round robin these. So I'll go first. Pick your cheese. Brie, aged cheddar, blue cheese, or goat cheese? Ooh, goat cheese.
I can't pick.
Well, you have like 60 seconds.
I'm going aged cheddar.
I think I'm going to go goat cheese too, but man, aged cheddar made a good...
I feel like I just have to go aged cheddar because I have like 10 blocks of aged cheddar in my fridge right now. So I feel an obligation.
Choose a meat. Prosciutto, chorizo, salami. No meat, thanks.
I know, no meat, thanks.
No meat, thanks.
We're all no meat, thanks.
And I'm not even a vegetarian. I just think meat on a cheese board is a sin. Add a fruit. Red grapes, dried apricots, apple slices, or strawberries. Red grapes.
Grapes, yeah. Although, no, I'm going to go apricots with the goat cheese.
Yeah, that's a good combo.
I know apple and cheese is supposed to be good, but I just like strawberries best.
All right, pick a spread or dip. Avocado dip? Why didn't they just call it guacamole? Avocado dip, spicy mustard, honey, or hummus?
Spicy mustard.
Oh, I think I'm going to go spicy mustard too.
I'm going to go with honey.
Honestly, God tier is like you take aged cheddar, spicy mustard, and then honey and do like a little honey mustard situation. Very good.
Oh my god, yeah, drop any Rex that you have.
Yeah. Choose a carb. Baguette slices, water crackers, pretzels, gluten-free crackers.
Baguette? Although I used to eat saltines and cheese, like cheddar cheese as a kid, and it was taking me back.
Their picture of water crackers just looks like saltines, but I get water crackers a lot with cheese. I'll do that to be different.
Yeah, I'm gonna do water crackers as well.
I wouldn't have expected that. The humble water cracker.
Well, okay. I can't eat wheat, but it's not gluten that's the issue. I make my own crackers.
Okay.
I make my own crackers, and they're like butter crackers.
You make your own crackers?
I make my own crackers, yes. They're like sourdough butter crackers.
Oh my god. Gotta send me that recipe.
Super easy, but yeah, for sure.
In the next few months.
Yeah.
Nice.
Garnish it up. Mixed nuts, edible flowers, olives, or chocolate pieces.
Olives.
Yeah, olives.
I love olives, but I can't say no to chocolate.
Chocolate and blue cheese is so good. Like, it sounds weird, but it is.
No, it does sound good.
The, like, bitter dark chocolate and the salty of the blue cheese, so good.
All right, I'll try it for you. I don't do blue cheese normally, but I'll try it. I have my results. I am the bougie friend. You go for brie, fig jam, edible flowers, and everything artisanal. You have taste, style, and you know how to host. Ooh. You're the one who sends the perfect invites, curates playlists, and make others feel fancy by proximity. I don't know about that last one. Lauren, what did you get?
Mine is totally wrong. As I read the description, I am the plant-based therapist friend. And it says...
You're not plant-based and you don't like to talk about your feelings.
Yeah, I was going to say, once I read the description, it's like, you're deeply thoughtful, okay, probably into astrology and always know the right thing to say. Your board was cruelty-free and emotionally supportive. You're the kind of friend who brings tea, tissues, and tasty treats. Iconic. I'm like, I am not.
Oh my god, well, when I visited your apartment in St. Louis that one time, you had actually quite a nice charcuterie board for us.
True, and I got you sparkling cider.
Yeah, peach sparkling cider.
Ooh.
Alright, what did you get?
I got the mom friend. You're the emotional support system, snack provider, and personal Uber for your squad. Everyone knows they can count on you, but don't forget to let others take care of you, too. I think the only thing I provide is snacks. I can't drive, and I am not an emotional support system, but...
Just a single emotional support system in one person.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, well, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how to end this episode, but I'm just, again, like, so grateful that you came on and talked about this and that we got to talk to you. even though we're all anxious and awkward.
I know, I was going to say, even though we were talking about how nervous we were about this episode, I've been looking forward to it. Like, I know you've been talking about scheduling it, and I was like, yes, we're doing it.
Yeah, I was very happy when Chris asked me if I would want to be on it, because I had thought about offering to be a guest, and then I got too scared, and then when Chris was like, sent me a message, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So thank you.
I try not to be pushy, because I know how delicate it is and how vulnerable you have to be, and, like, that's not easy.
But no, I was very happy, and I'm very glad to have taken this opportunity to chat with y'all.
You can cross it off your bucket list now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you again, and we'll see you around on the interwebs.
Yeah.
If you like what you heard, tell a friend about the podcast. You can send them to picklesandvodka.substack.com, where they can listen to our entire catalog and find our newest merch. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka. My personal Instagram is at xtinajumper, and Lauren's is at Lauren_AFH. We'll see you next week.